Hello everyone, welcome to Bhaskar Software Labs. This is Nagbabu, your Microsoft Azure trainer. In this session, I will demonstrate the implementation of SQL's set operators in Azure Data Factory data flow. Set operators in SQL are used to combine the records of two datasets. In order to combine those datasets, the metadata of those datasets should be same. There are four set operators in SQL. First one is union all, second one union, third one intersect, and fourth one is minus or except. I have two datasets with records 3 in each dataset. First dataset contains records 1, 2, 3, and second dataset contains records 3, 4, 5. If you observe, the record 3 is common in both datasets. So that is the duplicate record. Now let us apply set operators on these two datasets. First one is union all. Union all combines records of both datasets including duplicate records. So the result of union all contains 6 records. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5. The duplicate record 3 is repeating in the result set because the operation is union all. It includes duplicate records. Second set operator, union. Union combines records of both datasets excluding duplicate records. So the result will not contain the repeated duplicate record. So here the result contains only 5 records, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The duplicate record 3 is not repeating again. Third set operator is intersect. It will select only the common record among all the datasets. Here it is 3. So the result contains only 1 record. So intersect selects only duplicate records which are exist in both datasets. The final one is minus or except. Minus selects only records from first dataset which are not repeated in the second dataset. In our example, the first dataset contains 3 records, 1, 2, 3. So it is selecting only the records 1 and 2. So the result contains only 2 records. The record 3 is not selecting because it is reappearing in the second dataset. Now let us see the practical example of implementing these set operators in Azure Data Factory data flow. For this, I am considering datasets male employees and female employees. Each of these datasets contains 4 columns: employee ID, employee name, department ID, salary. Spelling of these columns in both datasets are different, but metadata is compatible. In the first position, we have employee ID in both datasets. In the second column position, we have employee name. In third column position, department IDs, and in the fourth column position, salary. So metadata is compatible. So we can combine these two datasets with the set operators. If you observe the data of these two datasets, there is a duplicate record, Madhu record. Employee record, Madhu record is a duplicate record. You can see the data values of this record. Employee ID is 123, name is Madhu, department ID is SD, and salary is 2000. Same values are repeating in the second dataset also. So this is the duplicate record in both datasets. Now I am in Azure portal. Here in Azure portal I have blob storage that contains CSV files. Male employees CSV file and female employees CSV file. Now let us try to implement set operators on these two datasets in Azure Data Factory data flow. So let us try to create a data flow, but before that we need to create a datasets. Already I have created a linked service for my blob storage. You can see here This is the linked service for my blob storage. I am creating dataset for male employees data. So new dataset, data store is Azure Blob Storage, and the file is a delimited text file, CSV file, and the name of the dataset is male employees, and linked service is Azure Blob Storage 1, and let us browse for the file. This is my blob container. Inside this I have male employees CSV file, and this file contains column headings in the first line. That's it. Click on continue. So it is creating male employees dataset. Now let us create a dataset for female employees also. Again from Azure Blob Storage, delimited text. Name of dataset is female employees. Browse for the file. Female employees CSV file, and the first row contains column headings. Now let us publish these datasets. Male employees dataset. We can see the data preview. Make sure that the data flow debugger is turned on so that we can see the data preview of data flows. Now we have two data sets. Let us start creating a data flow. Add data flow, add the source, the name of this source output stream is male employees, and dataset is male employees. I am unselecting this checkbox schema drift because the columns names are not going to be changed in future. Fixed columns I am expecting in this dataset. Now under the projection, let us change the data type of this salary to integer. Now let us see the data preview. This data preview is possible only if this data flow debug is turned on. Now click on this refresh. So this is male employees. We have 4 records. Now let us add one more source. This time it is female employees. Dataset is female employees. Unselect this checkbox. Now let us change the data type of salary. Metadata should be same for implementing union set operators. Now we have two sources, male employees and female employees. Now let us implement the first set operator, that is union all. In data flow transformations, we have union transformation, which directly implements union all. So this transformation by default implements union all. So it will combine the records of these two data sets, including duplicate records. Now let us configure this union all. In the union configuration settings, the names of the fields are not matching. Names of the fields are different, but the positions of the fields are compatible. So I am union by position of the fields, and the union dataset is female employees. Now let us see the data preview of this union node. That means the outcome of this union. We have four male employees and 3 female employees. So after union all, we get a total 7 records. You can see we have 7 records. And also you can see Madhu record, it is repeating 2 times. So here we have Madhu record, here also we have Madhu record. Duplicate records. So this is union all. Now let us try to implement a union. Union should select only records without any duplicates. So for that, simply we have to aggregate this data. There is no direct support for other set operators in data flow. Azure Data Factory data flow, we don't have the support for other 3 set operators. So by using other transformations, we can get the result of other remaining 3 set operators. So to get the result of union without duplicates, simply we aggregate this union all data by considering all the fields as grouping fields without any aggregation field. So I am applying aggregated transformation, and I am going to aggregate the data by considering all the source fields as grouping fields without any aggregation field. So employee ID, employee name, department ID, and salary. So all the fields are selected as grouping fields. Now let us see the data preview of this aggregation transformation. It is saying that the transformation is invalid because we did not provide any aggregation field. So actually there is no need of aggregating the data here. So I am creating a dummy aggregation field just to satisfy the configuration settings of this aggregation transformation. So I am applying the sum aggregation, and I am using a dummy value 1. Now let us go to the data preview and click on this refresh. Now you can see we have only 6 records. Madhu record is repeating only once. And later you can take this data through another transformation, and where you can avoid this dummy field. This dummy field we created only for temporary purpose. In the subsequent transformations we can avoid this one. So this is how union all with aggregation by considering all the source fields as grouping fields is the technique that we use to implement a union operation in our Azure Data Factory data flow. Now let us implement intersect and minus. Both can be achieved by using several transformations here. First let us remove this aggregation transformation and also union transformation. We need a dummy column for each of these data sets to identify male records separately and female records separately. So I am creating a new column by using derived column. Derived column name is dummy. It is only for a temporary purpose, and I am maintaining a value 1 to identify male employees. So 1 means male employees, minus 1 means female employees. So to identify female employees, again I am creating a new column, same column name, dummy, but value of the column is minus 1. Now if you see the data of these data sets, female employees contains a value minus 1. Every female employee contains a value minus 1 under dummy column. Similarly, male employees, every male employee contains a value 1 under dummy column, and this is integer column. So when we aggregate this data, when we aggregate the data on top of this dummy column, that means if we sum up the dummy values after union these two data sets, then we get a value 0 for duplicate record, 1 for male records, and minus 1 for female records. So those values later we can use to select the result of intersect and minus operations. So these two data sets I am trying to combine with the union. So the second data set for this union operation is derived column 2, the outcome of this derived column 2. So again union by position of the fields and union with the derived column 2. So derived column 1, derived column 2, both we are combining with the union all. Now if you see the data of this union all, it contains a male records with a value 1 and female records with a value minus 1 under dummy column. So this we are going to use as aggregating field in the subsequent transformation. Now let us aggregate this data by the aggregation transformation. Again I am considering all the original fields of employees as grouping fields and a dummy field as aggregation field. So employee ID, that is one grouping field, employee name, department ID, and salary, whereas aggregation field is a dummy field. So let us apply the aggregation operation, sum on this dummy field, and let us give the name of the result as dummy again, because anyway we are not required in the subsequent transformations. This is not important in the subsequent transformations, so I am giving the same name, dummy. Now let us see the data preview. Now after aggregation, Sita, Lata, these are female records, so they contain dummy value minus 1, original value. Similarly, male records are Raju, Kiran, and Johnny. They contain a value 1, so 1 identifies male records, minus 1 identifies female records, which are not duplicate records, whereas dummy value 0, Madhu record, so this aggregated value is 0. So records with 0 indicates duplicate records. Now we can apply filter on dummy column and we can get the result of intersect as well as minus. So the final transformation is filter. I am trying to implement a intersect operator, so I am selecting the filter condition dummy equal to 0. dummy is equal to 0. So this condition will give the result of intersect. That means only duplicate record. In our case, the duplicate record is Madhu record. Now you see we got only Madhu record. Now let us change the filter so that we can get the result of minus. Filter condition I am using dummy equal to 1. So that means I am considering male records as first data set and female records as second data set. So minus will select now only male records which are not repeated in the female data set. So this condition will select only male records which are not repeated in the female data set. So that is the result of minus. Now let us refresh the outcome of this filter. Now you see Raju, Johnny and Kiran, these are only male employees. Madhu is not selected because Madhu is repeating in the female category. Suppose if you want to consider female dataset as first dataset and a male dataset as second dataset and you want to apply minus operation, then simply change the filter condition dummy equal to -1. So it will select only female records which are not repeated in the male dataset. Now let us see the data preview of this. Let us refresh this data preview. Now it is giving us Sita and Lata. So this is how, by using derived column, aggregation and filter, we can achieve intersect and minus operations. The same transformation we can use to implement a union operation also. So remove this filter. And same transformations we can use, same type of aggregation we can use. Now the result of this aggregation, if you see, it gives the result of a union. That means it will combine the records of both datasets without duplicates. Now you see here only 6 records are selected. But actually, to implement a union operation, we don't need these 2 separate derived columns. Directly in the aggregation node itself, in this aggregation transformation itself, without these 2 separate derived columns, we can apply a dummy aggregation with a dummy value 1. So that we have implemented in the very beginning. So almost with the same logic, we can implement a union, intersect and a minus, 3 set operators in Azure Data Lake data flow. That's all for this session. Thanks for watching the video. See you next time.